and welcome friends. As we discussed in the last presentation, this module 5 deals with use of sanitary landfills for the disposal of municipal solid waste. This presentation we are focusing on essential components of sanitary landfill and various phases and phase-wise progress for sanitary landfills. So as you learn the content, you will be able to state the essential components of sanitary landfill with its purpose. As well, you will be also able to explain various phases of sanitary landfill. So this sketch indicates the various components of sanitary landfill. Let's start from the bottom. As we see here, this particular surface is specifically prepared by designing that kind of a profile and which accommodates various further components one above other. So as we see the bottommost layer, this is the preparation of the bed and it is provided in such a manner that the entire solid waste that we wish to place in various cells could be resting in the desired way. Here we provide the liner system which prevents the migration of the leachate as well as the gases to the surrounding soil. Further, as we discussed in the previous presentation, as the waste undergoes various physical, chemical as well as the biological changes, it gives rise to certain leachate as well as certain gases. So this leachate needs to be collected, conveyed as well as treated to some facility. In the similar way, the gases being produced should also be collected as well as sent to the control facility in various manner so as to have specific things done. In addition, here as the topmost desired profile reaches, we wish to cover the entire cells covered with some final surface cover so that it will enhance the surface drainage. It won't let in infiltrating water. As well, it will support even the vegetation that we wish to grow on the topmost layer. Further, we provide certain drainage layers as a surface drainage here. As we see this particular portion, we are trying to put the waste not in the layers as such but in typical cell-like structures. So the adjacent cells should be provided with certain soil cover as well as we have the specific layer of that particular cells on the top of it. Also we need certain soil cover in order to enhance the drainage as well as even to avoid the preventive mechanisms for the movement of the leachate as well as the gases, and sometimes even to collect them in the specific way. As well, we must have some facilities which will be monitoring, say for example groundwater, for example the gas development. As well, these kind of the sanitary landfills will looked at with closure as well as post-closure plans, which will be pre-decided before the closure of such kind of a facility. So further, the structures are elaborated here. This is the compacted solid waste which is provided in form of various layers. There is a leachate collection pipe. Further, it is provided with the various layers of sand, synthetic liner, clay as well as subsoil. Please don't get confused about the garbage or refuse like terminology, because I have used the ready-made figures that are available through the sources that I have mentioned. Really thank to them. But the terminology that we are used in form of refuse as well as the garbage has got some specific meaning the way we discussed in our initial lectures, and same thing should be continued as far as my presentation goes. So as you see here, there are probes to detect certain methane, not essentially methane, there could be some other gases also that could be generated through the biological decomposition. But here the creator could be more interested in the methane gas recovery. That's why he could have mentioned about that particular methane leaks. But here, whatever the particular gases are produced and likely to be leaked are being monitored through these. Further, after cleaning mechanism, we make use of these particular gases for certain electricity generation. As well as you see here, the leachate being collected and it is also treated. So as you see here, this entire structure could be seen in such aerial view. Now let's try to understand what is meaning of the phase and phase-wise progress. So phase is certain sub-area of landfill which is described for the various stages, say for example 12 months, during the operation and construction of that landfill. So each of these particular phases consists of various cells, leaves, daily, intermediate as well as the final covers, liners, leachate as well as gas control facility. We'll discuss this particular cells, leaves and the cover mechanisms in a short while. But this phasing kind of a thing is very much important for the effective usage of the landfills. Also, it is creating the guideline for the construction procedures, laying the liners, providing the various covers, making the provision for filling of the waste as well as the compaction. Also, it takes into account the safety, operational safety of the staff, equipment. As well, it is a sort of map in order to maintain the progress in the active manner as well as to facilitate the successful completion of the various stages of that sample. So as you see here, say for example, there could be 3 cells which is comprising that particular landfill. So it is giving us certain total layout. So initially we have started with say part 1, the way it is mentioned as cell 1 here. So it is equipped with the gas collection mechanism, leachate collection mechanism, as well as the proper precaution is taken in order to maintain the area well under observation so that the littering of the waste would be avoided as well as the trespassing would be avoided and the gas collection as well as the treatment facilities can be properly maintained. So here in this particular sketch, it can see that, say, cell 1 is under operation, whereas cell 2 is being prepared in order to receive the waste. So it could be provided with the typical ways, roadways, ramps in order to access the particular place. So as this particular cell 1 is complete with the filling, cell 2 would be under operative conditions, and now the cell 3 would be opened up for the preparation to receive that kind of waste. So by that time, the cell 1 would be reaching at the closure stage. So as it is closed, subsequently cell 2 will be operative, cell 3 would be under preparation, and such kind of strategy would be maintained for the full operation of the landfills. As all the cells are filled, the entire landfill area could be considered to be at the final closure stage. So this particular sketch is indicating the various values that we are occupying, say for example cell 1, cell 2, cell 3. So the cell is the volume which is flushed per day, which includes daily cover of 15 to 30 centimeters. So what I mean to say is, say for example, if this is the total landfill profile that we wish to attain, in that certain value would be considered to be occupied per day. It would be having specific length, breadth as well as the depth. So this will form a cell for a day. At the end of the day, it would be covered in all the directions with cover of soil with thickness of 15 to 30 centimeter, which is well compacted. Whereas over the days, the entire area of this particular sanitary landfill will be covered with a number of cells, and such number of cells over the active area for that landfill would be considered as lift. So these cells are resting on the base through the liner system. Already you know about what that particular liner is. Again, the features of that we'll be discussing in depth as we move ahead. As we see here, this is certain intermediate layer of 45 centimeter thick, and these sides are maintained with certain slope, say 3:1, and it is creating certain benches as well as the terraces in order to maintain that particular facility subsequently. As I discussed on the previous slide, as the entire area is covered with number of cells, final cover will be laid over the entire landfill, and this is meant for avoiding the surface drainage as well as to grow the vegetation as well as to prevent the percolation of rainwater through the body, which is likely to give rise to the leachate movement. This particular plan is showing the closure plan. Really, I don't know the source. Someday I had used this through some book, the reference of which really I don't have, but I thank you very much for the creator, because I am using this as a part of my presentation and to make my students known about how that closure plan could be. So this is the entire boundary, various monofills meant for a specific category of the waste. These are closed. More areas are emphasized which need more attention. Say for example, as you see here, this is a radiologically impacted material. Hence, one should concentrate more as far as the post-closure plans are concerned. So through these post-closure plans, we define the guidelines for the maintenance of next 30 to 50 years, as well to design the surface runoffs properly to avoid the erosions, to manage the leachate as well as the gases likely to be produced, to establish the proper control on the fire likely to be occurred, because through the phases of these landfills, it is quite probable that it would start emitting the methane, and if it is not properly controlled and if it is getting leaked through the surfaces as it comes in the contact with the atmosphere due to the heat and the likelihood of the temperature, it may catch the fire. As well, this particular place could be breeding ground for the birds, rodents and hens. It is quite probable that some menace will be created. So in general, this closure plan is helpful in order to establish long-term environmental management plan. Some more features about the post-closure plan. So here again, the entire plan is developed and placed for all the future references. It would be giving some legend regarding the various areas that are occupied through the number of cells, number of units, and it will be properly indicated what is laid at what place. So as we wish to have this particular plan developed in order to manage the environment for 30 to 50 years, next we will be using this particular post-closure plan for the inspection, maintenance of the surfaces, slopes, to manage the leachates, gas and the other things the way we discussed on the previous slide. So this is giving the fairly good idea of the various phases. So this is indicating the bed preparation, placing the impermeable layer, placing the cells, going through the lift, providing the intermediate layers, creating the benches, laying the final cover. So at this stage the construction phase is complete. So during the construction this could be seen like this. Whereas as it is closed down, all that particular final covers are laid, benches are formed, and it would be giving some look like contour plan as such. Whereas as we lay the final covers and it is covered with the vegetation, it would be giving this beautiful look. Only the thing is that this needs to be maintained over the period in order to manage it in better conditions so that it won't be unnecessarily creating any impact on the environment. So I hope you got the idea about the various phases and the essential elements of landfill. So, well friend, thanks for your attention. In coming presentation, we'll discuss about the planning and siting of sanitary landfill. So, by till then, I wish you very happy learning. Thank you.